You're watching National Streaming Sports. Over 20 podcasts, 70 shows, and a 3.5-star rating on Roku TV.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty smooth transition. How are you? How are you? How are you? It is Fireworks Eve, or as they say, I'm not touching that one, Bishop. If it smacks of politics, I'm not even gonna take it. But it's Fireworks Eve, or as can't remember what the kid's name was that had he was a Buccaneer and had his fingers blown off on the 4th of July. JPP, yeah. Jason Pierre, what was it? Jason Pierre Paul? Kind of rings a bell. I will say this. I love fireworks, but in Florida, and it's every year here, just the way it is, that it's overcast in Tampa, and sure enough, it's going to be overcast tomorrow. They said maybe it'll be done by 9:00 p.m. or so that they might get the fireworks out, which means that, we might go out and try to, because there's like a big fireworks show that is over by my ex coworker used to do it. I haven't spoken to him in a while. He's a Raiders fan. If I get a hold of him now, though, he'll know that I'm deliberately talking about the fireworks event, and I don't want to be that obvious, but I just probably find out whether he does it. I figure get around like 8:30. If it's not raining, I'll go around the neighborhood and see if I camp out and see if I can find some. Alexandra Gonzalez, good to see you over there on Instagram. Come on over to YouTube. And the things that we do is, again, it's the holiday. So I went out today and got a bunch of like iced tea and lemonade, got some burgers and hot dogs and some chicken for the grill. Oh, no fireworks. Yeah, there's none over here either, Bishop. I'm just saying, in my HOA, there's no fireworks, but there is, like, on the outside of the area, there's fireworks. He lives over by the house that Warren Sapp used to live in. Oh, thank you there, Hot Neil. I'll put this up. Hot Neil with a $1.99 super sticker. Thank you there, shipmate. And Alexandra Gonzalez, yeah, I'm coming to Houston. Yes, I am coming to Houston at 12. It's December 20th, 25. Alexandra's over there. Come on over to YouTube. And it is an official show because Matt Marinovich came in here. Matt, honestly, I don't know what I'd do if you didn't show up, because then I would know that I know I can count on Matt Marinovich because you're always here, and I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody being here. Hot Neil's in here again. The Bishop's in here. But, that's why I said it's an official show when Matt Marinovich is here, because I know we can go from there. But again, if you're over on Instagram, like Alexandra Gonzalez is over there talking to me about the Houston event, which is going to be right near Christmas. Yes, I'm going to Houston. There are going to be specials. There are going to be hotel specials. I got to find out the hotel that are connected with the Black Hole events. And obviously, this year, with being the 30-year anniversary of the Black Hole, there's a lot of different things that's going on this year. Black Hole is doing it right, and they're pushing things out. I know that there is an event in I think it's about 2 weeks, maybe. It's at Ricky's, right, in San Leandro. The Black Hole and the Rickies are having a co event, and Lincoln Kennedy is going to be there, and that's my segue. Lincoln Kennedy is going to be at the event in San Leandro at Ricky's. It's a Raider Nation event, and Lincoln will be joining me next Monday for an unscheduled show. So Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Lincoln Kennedy will be here. So it's like I'm getting back-to-back awesome people coming into the show because, as I stated, SportsX Radio's Ken Thomson is here. So I'm going to shut up. I'm going to bring Ken Thomson in right now because you got enough of me. You got enough of me. I want to talk to somebody that actually knows what the hell is going on. Ken Thomson, SportsX Radio, my shipmate from many, many, many moons ago. Good to see you, sir. How are you doing?
Captain Jack, man, it's a pleasure. First off, it's a privilege to be with you. You mentioned Lincoln Kennedy. I actually was texting with Lincoln today, and he's going to be on my show hopefully within the next week or so. It was a little R&R time, and of course, kind of things are changing over there, with in Lincoln's life. So not sure exactly what he's going to be doing, but I'm sure you guys will get into that. But I love that guy, man. He's like that giant teddy bear. That's the guy that'll take the shirt off his back type person. And he's always been like that. I've always enjoyed him. He's been on my show many times. We had a great show several years back at the Golden Nuggets when I really got to know him during March Madness, of course. And, of course, he's a UW graduate. So Washington was in the tournament. And, of course, he's supporting the Huskies. But always enjoyed him. And then I'm great friends with Roxy Bernstein from originally the Pac-12 networks. And I know a lot of your listeners will remember or followers will remember Roxy with Bill Walton and how many broadcasts they did, several hundred on the Pac-12 networks. And, of course, Bill Walton passing away last year. So Roxy kind of still trying to adjust to all of that. But so much going on, Captain Jack. I mean, with the Raiders, the team, I did notice that the opening game, not the opening game against New England, but the opening home game, the Monday against the Chargers, for those that don't know, that's Pete Carroll's 74th birthday. So, I mean, that's crazy. Oh. What are the odds of your first game as head coach with the new team, and you're playing your first game on a Monday night, and it's your birthday? So for me, because I'm a big USC guy, Pete Carroll, you know, only Jesus Christ walks on water, but Pete Carroll's a second close one, man. Maybe did what Peter did back in the day and took those first few steps on water before panicking. But Pete Carroll was, big time for me as a USC fan because he resurrected that program. And, of course, I got engaged in front of Tommy Trojan on campus to my beautiful wife, Christina. And but I'll tell you, man, it's just nonstop stuff going on with the Raiders. My show today, ironically, got canceled. This is the first time was taken off the air because the electricity at the studio, KSHP, went out. There was a little monsoon that cut through the west side of Vegas and only hit about a 2-block radius as far as putting out electric from West Charleston over to Jones and Sahara area. But it took out my station's electric. So I was like, okay. I didn't get to talk to Hondo Carpenter, who, of course, is the Raiders beat writer for Sports Illustrated. He's a regular on my show every Thursday at 4:05 Pacific, so 7:05 Eastern time. And Hondo's phenomenal, man. He's just, you talk about dotting I's and crossing T's. There's nobody better than this guy. He knows a lot about a lot, and he's very close and good friends. He's known Max Crosby since Max was in high school. So, because he's a Michigander guy. Yeah, he's a Michigan guy. So he knew Max before he ever went to Eastern Michigan. And so the big thing coming up for me will be next Saturday, a week from this Saturday. It'll be July the 12th. And, of course, the Raiders and the Vegas Golden Knights, they have their annual charity softball game. And I will be there. And Brock Bowers will be the captain of the Raiders team. So I'm looking forward to that. And I've been on the field every year. And this is the 6th annual one, I believe. And so it's always a lot of fun. And I'm hoping the Raiders can represent well. But they've got a bunch of the new guys. And then I know Dylan Parham will be back. And there's several guys that will be back. But there's also a few guys that come back from both the Golden Knights and the Raiders that are no longer with the team that just really love Vegas and enjoy that event because it is for charity. So, lots of great stuff going on. But I'm excited for this team. I really think, this team's got potential. We don't know. We don't know how good Ashton Genty will be. I got to see him play, of course, at Allegiant Stadium, and I followed his career, of course, because Boise State is in the Mountain West, and I cover UNLV as well. So Genty, to me, is a big-time runner. After contact, he's one of the best of all times in college. So if we get that type of quality blocking that we need to just give him a little bit of daylight, because if he gets hemmed in the backfield, it's going to be a little bit of trouble for him. But if he's able to turn the corner or even go off tackle, he'll make that first guy miss most of the times or bounce off that guy. And that's what you're looking for. And, so I was torn because I wanted Genty, but I also was greedy and I wanted Cam Scatterboot because I'm tired of lining up in shotgun when we get to the 2-3 yard line. I'm sick of that crap, man. I mean, what happened to old school football? Give me a split backfield. Give me I formation. Give me something where I'm not first and goal on the 1 and I got my quarterback back at the 5. So when he's handing off on 3rd and goal, he's giving the ball to the running back on the 4 yard line. I'm sick of that crap, Jack.
Yeah, I forgot who drafted Scatterboot. I'm with you though.
The Giants.
I wanted him as well. I did want him as well.
The New York Giants took him in round 3, and they grabbed Jackson Dart, who I'm also a big fan of. If I would have grabbed any quarterback, if I was the Raiders, Jackson Dart. I followed him from high school. Now, he went to the same high school that Zach Wilson went to in Utah, but then he went to USC, and then, of course, finished up at Ole Miss with former USC coach Lane Kiffin. But Jackson Dart can throw on the run. His problem, his one weakness, I feel, is he tries to squeeze the ball in places that it'll be picked off at this level. And even at the SEC level, there were several games for Ole Miss where he tried to squeeze the ball in there. And Ole Miss was good, but they still didn't have the same offensive line that Georgia or Alabama And some of those defensive lines from some of those teams, Florida, those are quality teams. LSU, those are great teams.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching, and I was a fan of Jackson Dart as well. I said, if the Raiders pick a quarterback in the first round, the only one that I want, because I didn't think they were going to get the one that went number one. Okay. Even last year, it was like Caleb Williams.
Cam Ward, but I don't care. I don't think Cam Ward is that guy. I know he's number one, and I know he did a hell of a job going from Incarnate Word to Washington State, finishing up at Miami, and he's got a nice arm. You better protect Cam Ward, because like Shedeur Sanders, and those were the two that they talked about as being the top two quarterbacks, right? And we saw what happened with Shedeur Sanders. And I know, and people say, oh, well, Deion was involved and this and that. But at the end of the day, I don't know on these guys. They both get sacked a lot. They're not the fleetest of foot. Cam Ward can run when he needs to, kind of like Geno Smith. Geno Smith, you would think, is going to get out of a lot of trouble. Geno Smith is a smart runner now. He takes off when he needs to, but he'll take a lot of sacks. Like Russell Wilson, only he's quicker than Russell Wilson. He's got the longer strides. But, he's one of the most sacked quarterbacks over the last 4 years. But he does not throw a ton of interceptions like he did early in his career with the Jets.
Right. And again, I knew that Ward wasn't going to be available. But I still wanted, I said, the only quarterback that I want is Jackson Dart. And people were telling me that I was, well, I won't bother to say it. And yes, you are allowed to cuss on it. I know, Ken, you don't cuss, but I'm just saying.
No, are you kidding me? I'm a Jersey boy. And by the way, I would just tell you, because we had some crazy shows, SportsX Radio. A lot of your listeners may not know, or followers may not know, that may be rockers, old-time rock and roll guys. My brother-in-law, of course, is Zach Wild, Ozzy's lead guitar player for 25 years. And Zach has his own band, Black Label Society. He right now is doing the Pantera reunion. And, of course, he'll be playing out here in Vegas August the 29th. He'll be in Mesa, Arizona on the 26th. I'll be at both of those shows. But Zach's been married to my sister Barbara Ann for, 32 years or something like that. So we're pretty close. We're all Jersey boys. Like Phil Villapiano, who I just saw about a month and a half ago and did a great interview with 41. And now he's the only 41 because we don't have our guy that bolted to New England and Robert Spillane. So we won't get that confused anymore. But no. So cussing, are you kidding me? I've got, the word the and the F-bomb in my house. They were used about the same. So, you don't have to worry about offending old KT. Am I a Christian? Yes, I am. First and foremost, am I a sinner? Yeah, I think we all still sin. Only Jesus Christ was perfect. And that's where I am. I don't, profess my faith down to anybody, but that's where I am. And I'm connected to a lot of great people, including yourself, the Violator, Wayne Mabry, the Gorilla, Mark Ocasio. These are good Christian guys that basically represent the shield and love the silver and black. And, we do what we can. And you're going to see a lot of really quality play and sportsmanship from a lot of Raiders, current Raider team. I'm telling you, this Brock Bowers kid is special. Genty's a special player. Geno Smith has really turned his life around big time since the days from the Jets when I thought he was a piece of crap, man, basically coming out of West Virginia. I said, this kid's a pompous. I guess there's a fine line between being confident and being cocky. I thought he was a cocky piece of crap. And so, the guy that I see now and have seen the last several years is polished. And I really think he can give the Raiders and Pete Carroll, a couple years to transition potentially to another quarterback. And there's going to be some good ones, but Geno's still got game. And let's remember, Brady played until his 40s. You got, a couple guys now that are still, in their 40s and guys are getting older. So if you take care of yourself, there's no excuse for you not to be able to play as long as you don't get, some of these detrimental injuries that could put you out. And Geno Smith is a guy, even though he takes a lot of sacks, he's pretty durable.
Hey, since you are the guy in Vegas, okay. And by the way, I hope to come in to your studio sometime again, like I did the one time. That was fun, and being on live with you. I'm not putting pressure. I said whenever we could figure that one out, that was always fun. But since you are, in the know of what's going on in Vegas, my buddy Ed Winchell said that he heard it from somebody. And he has generally good sources that Brandon Ayuk was out there in Henderson today?
Yeah, I
you
heard
hear
that
about
as
that?
well. And yeah, I heard that as well. And then, and like I said, if I would have had Hondo Carpenter on my show, I mean, what are the odds? I mean, I haven't had a show postponed because of weather in about 10 years. And I've been on the air 22 years in Vegas since 2003. So it's actually year number 24 for SportsX Radio. And that's one word, SportsX Radio. It's been the same show for the last, say, 18 years. Initially, the show was called Sports Executives. And then that was the name of my buddy's handicapping company. And then he could no longer do the show. My good partner, initial partner, Chuck Edel. And so he's like, KT, you could keep the name. And I'm like, nah, Chuck, that's your business name. I don't want to do that. And so I was trying to think, and I'm like, Sports Executives, what can I do? Something close. And somehow I came up with SportsX. And then I was like, all right, SportsX Radio, SportsX Radio. And that became it. And it's been SportsX Radio with Ken Thomson ever since. And like I said, it's 23 years, but I think about 19 years under SportsX Radio and rolling through. But yeah, Ayuk, the thing with Ayuk is I always thought San Francisco paid too much for him. I mean, look, the guy's a talent, but I don't think he's not better than Jacoby Myers in my guesstimation. Jacoby Myers didn't drop a pass last year. This kid, Jack Besh, that they just got from TCU, he didn't drop a pass. He dropped one pass last year, and it wasn't his fault at TCU. And Sonny Dykes throws the ball left and right every freaking play. So you're talking about a couple guys that are as sure-handed as can be. You have Brock Bowers, and now you have Michael Mayer that's actually back in game shape. You got two of the best young tight ends, not only young tight ends, but two of the best tight ends in the NFL. Mayer just needs more, catches, and he's going to get them this year. But Bowers, he's going to get double teamed, and that's going to really open things up. So if Genty is all that, and the one thing I question is his receiving out of the backfield, because he didn't do a lot of it at Boise State, right? They had plenty of capable receivers, and their guy Madsen's a pretty good quarterback, so they were able to get the ball down the field. But I think he's going to be dangerous out of the backfield as well. You kind of want that, like the Alvin Kamara type guy out of the backfield with the little flare pass, gets him in space. Because like I said, Genty can make the first guy miss, and if the first guy does hit him, Genty's one of those guys that can bounce off because he's low gravity, and he really has great peripheral vision and great balance. And you saw that, and you see that in some of the workouts, saw it in the combine. I mean, this guy's special. There's no doubt. You use your number 6 overall pick, and you better hope he's there because the Raiders have a lot of holes, and they lost some quality players, including Trayvon Merrick and several others in the secondary. So there's a lot of holes to fill. But if anybody can do it short term, Pete Carroll's going to be 74, and I'll tell you, he's the youngest 74-year-old you'll ever see with as much vigor and just emotion. But this is a guy, when he was coaching USC, he would be downtown L.A. hanging out and helping homeless people. And he was not like he brought a, armed guard with him. He didn't do that. That was Pete Carroll. He was just, and he was up boogie boarding on the beach at 5:30 a.m. and running and staying in shape. So he'll be 74 September 15th when we play the Chargers on that Monday. But you won't find a younger 74-year-old or somebody that has more vigor and love for not only for the game of football, but for humanitarian, human beings themselves. And he's a great humanitarian. I love Pete Carroll, and I can't wait for this team to have an opportunity. I know we're always glass half full prior to the season, and it gets frustrating, especially last year, 4-13, absolutely ridiculous. So this year, expectations aren't too high, Captain Jack, but I think this team, and, I'm on the same page with Hondo Carpenter. I would play them over their win total. Their win total, you can still get 6.5 in Vegas. I would definitely play that over. And people go, are you kidding me? You're in the same division as KC and the Chargers and the Broncos. And now Bo Nix is there. And I love Bo Nix. Bo Nix is a great quality kid. And Sean Payton knew he had another coachable guy like a Drew Brees. So he grabbed him. And for the first time, they broke an 8-game losing streak against us last year and beat us twice. So we know that the division's, top of the line. But we have coaching now. We have an innovative offensive mind in Chip Kelly, and we have pieces. And so health-wise, got to stay healthy. Remember, Colton Miller, solid left tackle, had a real nice career for a while, but he was banged up last year, and he was a shell of himself. And so the left tackle was not solid last year. And Lincoln Kennedy, I guarantee he talks about that on your show next week. Anybody knows how to address the offensive line, Lincoln Kennedy's the best because he was an all-pro at that position and just knows and sees the footwork, follows footwork. And that's so important in this day and age because you can be a brick house. But if somebody's quick enough, like an Abdul Carter out of Penn State, the Giants grabbed him, right? He's an LT type guy that's going to get around the corner so fast your head will spin. So you got to be able to move your feet, almost like for you folks that play basketball, to step and slide. You got to be able to step and slide with authority, as Marv Albert would say. So you do that, you got, a quality line. I think Parham's good. The youngster out of Oregon, he's going to be a solid center. And Jackson Powers Johnson, I mean, that guy is a stud. He's like another Richie Incognito, build-wise and gusto-wise, but he's not going to get in the trouble that Richie did off the field. This guy's a stud and a half. And, you got other guys that can step up. Look, the right tackle and right guard, there's still question marks, but we grabbed Kappa from Cincinnati, and I think Alex still has game. And then I like what the defense is doing. Again, Christian Wilkins, this is trouble here because we paid buku bucks for this guy out of to get him from the Dolphins. One of the top 2 tackles in the game, defensive tackles in the game, but we got nothing from him last year. He's hurt. He's got that Jones fracture foot-wise. Don't know when he'll be on the field, but when he's on the field, and you don't want to rush him back because you want to make sure he's 100%. Even if we got him halfway into this season, this guy is one of the best defensive tackles, but we have other tackles too, and we're okay there. And if we get Malcolm Kuntz to come off the other end from Max, remember Malcolm Kuntz, the reason we kept him and put him on a 1-year deal this year, he didn't get to play last year, but at the end of the year prior, he was dynamite. And he comes, of course, out of the same college, Buffalo, that Khalil Mack came out of. So, and they have that big, canvas painting of Khalil Mack on the Buffalo Bulls locker room there, over there on campus. And he would see that and goes, that's my guy. And of course, he was there when Khalil Mack sacked, Aiden O'Connell 6 times or whatever. Or whatever. It was just crazy, right? And we were looking and going, God dang it, 52, you should be over here. What the hell are you doing? You're silver and black. But that was something that we let him go, and he never came back. And now we got to see him twice. So end of the day, I really think there's question marks, but there's a lot of potential. So I am a glass half full guy. And with Carroll and Kelly, and you keep a defensive coordinator in Graham that's pretty solid, pretty good defensive. A special teams guy that came over from Denver a year ago as well. So we've got good, solid coaching. We've got players. We've got young players. And again, putting it all together, that's what Pete Carroll at age 73, soon to be 74, is going to be doing. He is the conductor of the orchestra. And with Chip Kelly as his right-hand man, they are going to give you at least a taste of some winning football. Will it be good enough to make the postseason? Maybe not, because the AFC is still loaded. Buffalo's good. And I will say this, based on the first game against New England, Vrabel goes there. We have to go to New England. The Raiders have to win that game, in my guesstimation. If they're going to go over their win total and even just tease us as far as making the postseason, they need to open up with a win in New England. Why? Because their next 2 games, they are shorthanded big time rest-wise with both the Chargers. They're giving up 4 days of rest because the Chargers play on a Thursday, the Raiders play on a Monday, right? Come back and they play on a Sunday and then come back on that Monday nighter. We're giving up 4 days of rest there, and and game 3 as well against Washington. We're giving up a lot of rest because Washington plays on, I think, that third or the second Thursday. So that third game, they've got rest coming in against the Raiders. So you have to look at rest disadvantage. And by the way, I just want to put this out there: those that gamble maybe or bet on football know who Warren Sharp is. Sharp Football Analysis, sharpfootballanalysis.com. If you go to that website, you can just put in my promo code SPORTS and then click apply. That is a $30 magazine, and you can get it for $1. So I'd advise you to do that because that's not going to be there. $1. This is Warren. This is 586 pages of just NFL. This guy is unbelievable. He's an engineer. I've known Warren for a while, but he gave up his engineering career. Why? Because he knows the NFL and how to break it down. He's got it down to where 3rd down and 5 or less, how many times the Raiders ran in the first quarter, the second quarter, third quarter. Stuff like that ad nauseum to where you're going, are you kidding me? There's 15 pages of data on the Raiders alone from last year and the prognostication and predictions for the Raiders this year. And Warren Sharp is one of the best. So if you go to sharpfootballanalysis.com, and when you get there, you click for the book, and then it'll say coupon, and you put in sports, just sports. And then it'll say there's a little thing that says apply. Click apply, and it'll take it down from $29.99 to $1. Get that as quick as you can, because that'll be a great way for you to follow the Raiders and look at them this year compared to what they did last year, Captain Jack.
And I thank you, Ken, for sending me that link last night, because immediately after you sent me that link, this old pirate got his copy for $1. And
yeah, it's a digital copy, right? So it's really easy.
Yeah. If you had not been on tonight, I was going to plug it, but there's no better person to plug it than the person who actually had the man on his show. So yeah, the Warren Sharp book, go on there. You won't $1, folks. It's $1. You can't beat that. No, that's less than a Starbucks. Well,
Yeah.
anything, a lot of things are less than a Starbucks nowadays. But I wanted to ask God. I had so many questions because Ken, I love you, but it's like rapid fire. I'm trying to write. I couldn't write things down fast enough for me to check you on it. And I had like 3 questions, and then you talked about Warren Sharp, and my memory just got jagged. I was trying to think.
Of course, at our age, that happens a lot.
Yeah, squirrel. Yeah. Who do you think? First, this is one thing. Who do you think is going to ultimately be the top 3 receivers? Because I think that Besh is definitely going to be on the field a lot. I think Thornton's going to be on the field a lot. They might not be penciled in as W2 or W3, but I think that they're going to be a very instrumental part. I think that actually Tucker is going to be more of a special teams guy, gadget guy, because I think he's going to be sharing that with Mallett if he makes the 53. Mallett might be a practice squad guy because he's more of a gadget. And I think
Mallett
might do well.
Tommy Millott. He's a quarterback out of Montana State. Yeah, and I followed Tommy's career, FCS championship game in Frisco against North Dakota State, which they lost. And a lot of people thought the Bobcats would finally win, the FCS title. But the Bison got it done. It's not the Bison, it's the Bison over there in Fargo, North Dakota. But Tommy Millott is. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's a 4.39, right? White boy that runs a 4.39. You got to be kidding me. This guy's going to be special teams. He's going to be punt returner, kickoff returner. He could do that. And so that's the way they drafted him, listed him as a wide receiver. Yes, he could be your emergency quarterback if need be. You'd probably get a lot of quarterback draws, from Tommy Millott, but he'll make the team. There's no doubt Tommy Millott will make the team. But Trey Tucker got some much needed experience last year. And I'm telling you, there's one thing to be able to run fast down the field and catch things in shorts and pads like Thornton's doing now. And Thornton's got incredible speed. And he did it at a high level in college. Again, you got to prove it in the NFL. So he's not going to get all that time initially. But what the Raiders will do is stretch the field. And Pete Carroll likes to do that. We saw him do that at Seattle. And what does that do? That opens up the running game because that puts the strong safety and free safety to where they're going, oh, shit, we don't want to get burned on national TV. We don't want to get burned, deep, right? So I always look at guys in the secondary and I go, you can have the fastest freaking free safety or fastest cornerback, and that's all well and good. But if they're in the wrong position in the fourth quarter, they're not worth a crap, right? That's why Troy Polamalu, he wasn't going to win any combine things, or Zach Thomas not going to win anything at a combine. But at the end of the day, these guys were in the right place, right time, fourth quarter when the game was on the line. And those are guys that have that football savviness that you cannot teach. Well, I guess you can when they're young, right? I mean, but there's a lot of instinct that goes with that. And there's a lot, like Ronnie Lott wasn't the fastest guy. One of my favorite guys ever. I'm a USC guy, right? Another guy, USC, Junior Seau, not the fastest guy, but a great player. Yeah, he was most of his time on the Chargers and then the hated Patriots, right? But at the end of the day, you got to have respect for guys that played the game at that level. And I've been following football. Shoot, let me see now. The big 6'3" now. So KT's been watching football since he's 7. So, I mean, that's unbelievable. 56 years of football. This will be my 56th year of watching NFL football. And I missed the first 2 Super Bowls, but every Super Bowl after, from Super Bowl III, where the Jets beat the Colts, and my dad was a big Joe Willie fan, guys, because I grew up in Jersey, so he loved Joe Namath and his white cleats. But good friends with, and then another thing I got to duck in. I just stopped by Coach Tom Flores' house last week. Now, had I gone and knew the route that I was taking, because I was in San Diego, And for those that know Southern California, there's a Route 74. There's one in Arizona, which I take a lot, cuts over from the 60 to the 17 in Phoenix. But there's also these little highways that go through Temecula and all this crap to go to Palm Desert and Coachella Valley. And for those that know that Coachella Valley, that's where Coach Flores has retired, him and his beautiful wife, Barb. And I've been there, but always took the 10 freeway, main freeway. Well, it takes us on this 74 freeway. Captain Jack, my wife nearly divorced me after that ride because we had the big car, the Aviator, and which is a 2023 Aviator, which is a big car, and you're going down a mountain where you can't even see what's coming around the corner. And some of these people, they're like in little Fiats, and they're doing, and it's insane. If you look over the side, you're dropping down 10,000 feet. And my wife, she had to face me. I was driving, and she goes, I'm going to throw up. I go, well, don't throw up. If you're going to throw up, go face the other way. Then you can at least, get it out the window. But she's like, she couldn't look that way because of the drop. And I was on the inside. So it was one of the most unbelievable. But GPS took us that way, and it saved the whole 12 miles. But I guarantee it didn't save us any time because my wife was tripping out. And I'm like, God dang it, man. Don't be screaming. Don't be yelling. I got to concentrate here. Crazy stuff.
Is that the one that takes you by a lake? Because I was on. Yes. I was on that route last year when I was traipsing around the United, and I was like white knuckles on my brand new or practically brand new 2500, and I'm like, oh my mother God, because I know these mountain roads in Pennsylvania. I'm used to them in Pennsylvania. But I wasn't, but the drops, even the drops in Pennsylvania, you can kind of like see the bottoms of where you couldn't see. And I'm like, I even told my buddy, I said, is there another way for me to go where I don't have to go over that? It was petrifying. I know exactly what she's talking about. I was scared.
Oh, no. Well, here's the thing, and this is for Raider Nation. And for those that may not be on, I know a lot of you that are on are connected to a ton of Raider fans. And, I know a ton, but every Raider fan, I don't care, Facebook, wherever it is, from going to games, and Raider Nation is still, it's tight. It's tightly knit. I get it. There's some animosity sometimes with some fans here and there. And you know what? We're all on the same side at the end of the day. I mean, we don't need it. So I don't get involved in that crap. But at the end of the day, I went and visited Coach Tom Flores. This is one of the greatest human beings. And the reason I mention that is because I talked about the Jets winning Super Bowl III, which was the first one for the AFL, back in 68-69 season. 69 is when they played the Super Bowl in January, and they beat the Minnesota Vikings. And it was, the Jets beat the Colts 16-7. And then the following year, Kansas City played the Minnesota Vikings and evened things up because Green Bay won the first two against KC and Oakland. So that evened things up, 2 for the AFL, 2 for the NFL. But Coach Tom Flores was a backup to Lenny Dawson on that team. So Coach Flores is the only one in the NFL Hall of Fame that won the Super Bowl as a player, as an assistant coach to John Madden's 76 team that beat Minnesota, and 2 as the head coach. Right? Because he beat the Eagles and he beat the Redskins. Mike Ditka, 1 as a player, 1 as an assistant, and 1 as a head coach, but only 1. Tom Flores, most people give Madden the credit and they know the game, but they don't realize the gentleman, the nightclub singer, the pit boss that could have been in Vegas because he had that look. Coach Tom Flores won 2. And you talk about one of the most eloquent human beings, family man, big guy. You never had to worry about this guy cheating on his wife. Anytime he was anything close to where Mark and Scott or Kim were, his 3 kids, Mark and Scott were the twin boys. If they had a game, Coach would make it somehow, some way, maybe unannounced. Grew up in that Fresno area, Sanger High School, Sanger Bangers. And I went to University of Pacific in Stockton. This guy, just a class act. And I was with him and the family when he went in the Hall of Fame in 2021, hanging out with him. And Charles Woodson went in. Charles was there in the room, a little bit away. But I was there with the family. That's when I met Peyton Manning and ended up getting a selfie with Manning. And that was a classic story in itself because I mishit the button. And so I was thanking Peyton because I was going out to my car and he goes, you missed it. And I go, what I missed? He goes, you mishit the button. I go, get out of here. And sure enough, this guy pays attention to detail like none other. And if he didn't say anything, he could have gone on his way, gone up to his room with his wife and kids. And I walked out thinking I had a selfie with Manning. I had nothing. So he never moved and stayed there and whatnot. But Tom Flores, to me, one of the most gracious, awesome human beings of all times. And he said when he got to Oakland and he goes, the Raiders fans, he goes, it was freaking Halloween every night, man. He goes, it's unbelievable. He goes, those fans are just unbelievable. And, and Tom doesn't get too, overzealous about anything. He's just mild-mannered. He's under control. And that's why in 1980, when Dick Vermeil had his Eagles all bedtime checked and in bed and everybody's going to be good on Bourbon Street. And you know what? Tom Flores let the guys do what the guys do. And twos and those guys, they went out. Some of those guys were out till 2 a.m, whatever it was. But it wasn't until, almost 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock that game kickoff there locally, centrally there in New Orleans. So you know what? He trusted that those guys would be ready for the game. And it worked out. And to me, Flores, it took him so long to get him in the Hall of Fame. Captain Jack, you and I, didn't even know if he was going to get in. And what crushed him is not only could he barely get around because of his hip, but he couldn't even go back the following year when his great friend and a guy that he coached for a long time, Cliff Branch, went in posthumously. I mean, that was absolute bullshit. And I cannot stand the NFL to where they do this stuff. And because Al Davis walked the walk a little bit differently than most and stood up to the NFL many times, he's been penalized or his team has been penalized. There are, guys like Plunkett, guys like Villapiano, guys that should be in the NFL. And you can't just always go by numbers. If you didn't see the games or you didn't watch the season or you had no idea how much these guys played back in the day, and I'm talking about, you could ring the bell of a quarterback. Now a fingernail touches a helmet of a quarterback. Oh, a personal foul. Now you go across the middle and you breathe on a receiver. Oh, God, penalty, personal foul. It's just ridiculous. But these guys, I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable what they did and what Coach Flores did for many, many years. And now he's 88 years old. He can't even get out of bed. Coach is bedridden pretty much 23 hours a day. He has 24-hour round-the-clock care. It breaks my heart, and I did an interview with him. Didn't really want to show him. I got a good hour and a half, and Phil Handy, Phil's splicing it up and putting it all together. And then I went over to Palm Desert, about 15 miles away, 12 miles away from Indian Wells, and I got an interview with Phil Villapiano, which was great. We're fellow Jersey boys, and I love Phil and just his story on how he ends up at Bowling Green and all this other stuff. Just great stuff. But Coach Tom Flores is incredible. Now, something I'm going to do is I'm going to probably wait for Captain Jack to get out to Vegas, and we'll do something. But they had a commemorative Coors Light beer can, 24-ounce beer can. It was called the Iceman, and those that know their basketball know George Gervin was nicknamed the Iceman. But Tom Flores had that name before George Gervin ever even played in the ABA before the NBA. And he was known as the Iceman. So Coors Light was trying to get a push for Coach Flores to get in the Hall of Fame and figured, we're going to put him on this 24-ounce commemorative beer can. So I thought they were sold nationwide, or at least, Oakland, LA, Palm Springs, whatever, and Vegas area. They were only sold in the Vegas area. So I went around to Lee's liquor store, and of course there's Lee's Family Forum now, which is used to be the old Payday Loan Center, which is where the Silver Knights play in Henderson, Nevada. And I went around and I grabbed probably about 15 cases. Now, they're only cases of 12 because they're 24 ounces. And I said to Coach, I dropped them off one day, and it happened to be Kentucky Derby Day 2 years ago. And I dropped them at his house in Indian Wells. I said, Coach, if you can sign these in black Sharpie, and I've got some glass cases that go over the top of them that I've been getting, and they go on a little brown mantelpiece, a little piece underneath. And if you sign them, Tom Flores, HOF 2021 in permanent marker, I said, you can take 8 cases and you give me 6. And I said, I'm good with that. And you can use them for your charity or your family. Cause he didn't even have any. He had like two cans. Cause he thought for sure that Coors Light was going to give him some. I think they may have gave him like a case, and then he gave them away thinking that he could get them. He couldn't get them anywhere. So I have them. They're all signed. I've got about 90 of them. I'll have the cases. And then we are going to try and see if we can't do an event with Coach Flores, whether we can do it in the Coachella Valley. His goal is to make it to Allegiant Stadium for one game this year. I don't know if he'll be able to do it. There's a casino in Indio right by Coachella there called Fantasy Springs. There's another one in Coachella called Spotlight 29. that have great ballrooms that I would try to set something up to have Coach there. Otherwise, we may have to do something to where it's on a Zoom question answer thing. But I'm going to have those camps that he signed. And trust me, these are one of a kind. I know a lot of you, like me, Captain Jack, there's a lot of things that we have that were like unbelievable. And when the Raiders moved to Vegas, I've been to everything groundbreaking. I've got all the press passes, you name it, stuff that you got. I got the hard hat from 872 Labor's Union, got a lot of that stuff. But not many people have a signed Tom Flores 24-ounce beer can with his Hall of Fame permanent marker signature with the glass. This is something that'll go on your mantelpiece that you can give to somebody that is a lifelong Raider fan, especially if they're old school and they know Coach Flores. And we'll have about 90 of them. And I'm going to work with Captain Jack and Violator and, Mark Acasio Gorilla to get these to the right people that'll appreciate them the most. And they'll be fair. And, as far as money that we'll charge, it won't be a lot. And then some of the money will go to Coach Flores' charity. He's got a charity that he's raised over $1 million over the years to help kids. And they still give away the Coach Tom Flores Coach of the Week at high school football in the Vegas area now. But I just thought that was something that I'd like to go, because there's only going to be about 88 or 90 of them, to go to people that will appreciate them. And we'll do it something. I couldn't send them in the mail because it's alcohol. First off, going across state lines. But then I didn't want to, like, a little pinprick for the beer to come out. I want them to be full with the beer, with the signature. So hopefully it'll be either something in California or something in Arizona or something more than likely in the Vegas Valley that will do it. And Captain Jack will figure it out. We'll put it together with me and you, and we'll figure it out, and we'll get those to the right people. And that'll just be something we do. You got a great following too.
Yeah, I definitely will come out. I mean, I will make arrangements to you get it set up with Coach, and I will make arrangements. The only time that would be hard for me is when I'm driving back from New England or driving back from DC, because those are the two games I'm driving back from, because they're on the East Coast. I'm going to make a road trip out of it. But at any other time, then I will and if it is those times, I'll just have to get a flight, and I'll just cank my road trip. But yeah, you get with Coach on that, and I'll be more than happy to do that with you. That would be fantastic. And there's nobody that you were talking about, Lincoln being just a positive big teddy bear. Coach is so endearing as well. He's not these people. A lot of the athletes today and the coaches today, they're so full of themselves. They're so full of themselves that it's like, if you go up to them, and I won't mention names, but there's a few that pop right at the top of my head. And, it's like, don't bother me. Don't bother me. And like, I'm allowing you the privilege of me talking to you. So, and it's just disgusting. But Coach was never like that. Lincoln was never like that. The people like that were, there's a couple, and Phil will obviously talk your ear off, because I had a 5-hour show with him. It's great. Jerry Robinson is down to earth and is so nice. So is Rod Martin. So I love the players that are just like that are down to earth, just so giving of themselves. Jeff Barnes, I can go on and on. But yeah, I will be more than happy, and I would be honored to do anything that you and Coach put together. I will be there. I will make things happen.
And you mentioned number 53. I mean, to me, as much as I love Plunkett, I was talking to Coach Flores, and I said, Coach, I go, are you kidding me, man? I go, I mean, there's 2 highway robberies in Super Bowl MVP history. One is Rod Martin, 3 interceptions in a game. Now, nobody else, I don't think anybody else, I think one guy might have 2, but 3 interceptions in a Super Bowl. It's unbelievable just to do that in a regular season, any game ever in your career. He gets a hat trick. And the other one was James White, when he had 20 receptions or whatever he had and all those yards for the Patriots. In fact, Brady felt so guilty, he gave him the truck, but
Rod Martin, when I'd spoken to him, he said, Plunkett still owes me that vehicle that he won. Because he won a vehicle, the MVP, said Plunkett still owes me a car. for
That's
sure.
right.
And
Yeah.
yeah, he deserved it. He deserved it.
I haven't talked to Rod in a while. Is he okay health wise? I know he had fought through some adversity as well.
I don't have Rod's personal number, so I don't get a chance to talk to him that much. The last time I saw him was after a game in Vegas. I was late for me to get back out of there, so I had to go pick up my I had my bag was too big, so I had to turn it in. And so he's out in the parking lot in the area where they have the bag check, and he's coming towards me, and I'm all dressed up. He said, "Yo, Cap," and I tell you, Ken, and I mean this, when Rod Martin calls you Cap, or when Jerry Robinson calls you Cap, because they know you, to me, that's the biggest. I think the Yiddish term is verklempt. It just chokes you up that
Yep.
they know you and they call you by your name, not the other way around. It was amazing. And I got a chance to talk with Rod. That was, I think it was last year, because years kind of go together. But I always loved talking to him. Like I said, down to earth, awesome as hell. And Morris Bradshaw, another one who we lost that when we did the CTE event this past year, and we remembered Morris. It was heartfelt because Morris Bradshaw would bring you into his office and just sit down and says, "Hey Jay," or "Yo Jack, how you doing?" And just talk to you like just one of the dudes. So I miss that, Ken, and that's why anything that I can do for you, for the players that deserve the honor of being, we put them on the pedestal, but they actually deserve it more than these schmucks that come out like the opening of Jerry Maguire's is, "Oh, I can't sign that because I only signed Topps cards, and that's a Prism card." They're butt plugs, and I'm trying to watch my mouth.
No, I get it.
I'll do anything I can with you.
Right on. Yeah, no, we'll do some stuff, and of course, I'm giving it a go. I've got a brand, as Captain Jack knows, and we met years ago, and I've had this brand now since the Raiders, flirted with moving to Las Vegas. And I remember being at that first press conference. We all thought the Raiders are full of shit. They're not moving to Vegas. They're just, trying to get Oakland to ante up more money to either renovate the Coliseum or to build a new stadium. And so, we're there, and I'm half asleep because I think I was probably out the night before. And so Mark Davis, Carolyn Goodman, the mayor, introduces Mark Davis, and he goes up to the microphone, and he doesn't even say good morning. He just says, "I'm going to turn the Silver State into the Silver and Black State." So I was like, that's a cool play on words. And so, being from Jersey initially, my sister, SPORTSX Michelle, who did a lot of work on my radio show, SPORTSX Radio, but she was a big-time insurance agent back in New York. But the storm Sandy ruined her house down the Jersey Shore. So she moved out to Vegas to see she came out to Vegas to see if, she liked it out there, because she may transition because she wanted to be close to me. We were very close. There's 7 kids, but, her and I were very, very close. And so, she was still on East Coast time. So I call her 20 seconds after Mark Davis says that, and she answers on the first ring. And my sister, even now, if you know her, everything goes to voicemail. She doesn't answer. She answered on the first ring. And she's big time as far as URLs go, Daddy. She was back in the day. And this is 2017 or whatever, 2016, and April 2016 or 2017. And she answers, and I go, "Sis," and she goes, "Yeah, Ken, what are you doing?" I go, "I'm here at that Raider press conference." I go, "Hey, you got your GoDaddy account open?" She goes, "Yeah." I go, "silverandblackstate.com." So she goes, "Okay, I got it for you, $14. It's like, I said, "All right, great." So the Raiders didn't have that. And I was like, you know what? This is going to be awesome for Mark Davis down the line. And so I got home and I bought .net and .org, and then it offers me silverandblackstate.vegas. I'm going, .vegas? I didn't even know there was a .vegas, but that was more expensive than .net and .org combined. So I bought them all. Mm-hmm. So then I put in for the federal trademark. And of course, the Raiders own silver and black. So the federal trademark office in DC, they won't give anything, close to silver and black. And I didn't want, to take away anything from, the Raiders. I only wanted to enhance it because I thought it was a great play on words. And I figured if Mark Davis doesn't have it, then I'm going to get it. So somebody at least that's got,
Right.
love for the Raiders is going to have this and try and make it work. And so when we sent it to get a federal trademark in DC, it came back and it said denied. And so my trademark attorney, I told him, I said, look, we're basing it on the Silver State name, right? No, Nevada's known as the Silver State. That's their nickname, like Sunshine State in Florida, whatever state, Show Me State in Missouri. It's the Silver State. So I thought Mark Davis had a great play on words, Silver and Black State. So I got it. So for those of you that have been to Arizona, there's a brand. It's called State 48. It is now the national brand of Arizona. It's 11 years ago. These three guys started that. And how they started it was, Arizona's the 48th state. It rhymes. They went to Bruce Arians. He was coaching the Cardinals. And they said, Coach, can we use your silhouette likeness of your headset and goggles? Because everybody recognizes that here in Arizona. He said, sure, donate $5,000 to my Autistic Children's Foundation and I'll let you use it. So they did. That company now is worth $27 million in 11 years. They work with the Cardinals, Diamondbacks, Suns, U of A, ASU, Grand Canyon, you name it. It's everywhere. You go to a Cardinals game, you're going to see State 48 bar and restaurant, downtown Arizona where the Diamondbacks play, State 48 microbrew. It's everywhere. So that was my goal.
Yeah,
because Raider Nation, everything, it's there. I mean, but there's nothing for the state of Nevada. And so it is truly Raider Nation. But I was like, you know what? We are the Silver State in Nevada, and I've been there 26 years now. I said Silver and Black State, and I get it. There's the Golden Knights. There's other teams as well. But the Raiders are the Raiders. It's still the NFL. And Silver and Black State made sense. Why? Why did Vegas make sense for me as a Raider fan? Because I lived in San Diego. I lived in LA. I used to go to Oakland, and it didn't matter. Raider Nation was all over Cali, right? I grew up in Jersey. Those that were Raider fans, they are diehard Raider fans anywhere. And I've met not everybody, but I've met thousands of people from the Black Hole and beyond, just the Raider Nation. And they're from everywhere. And they bleed silver and black. So Silver and Black State made sense to me. So I have that. This year, we're getting it going. I've got a Raider Mobile, which is a 2005 Mustang convertible, which is a Raider car. I'm getting it restored right now. I just got the classic plates for it. So I don't have to worry about it passing emissions tests anymore, which is kind of cool. It's 21 years old. But I have that. And between Silver and Black State, which is, I'll stand up real quick, you can see this is the logo, Silver and Black State. And I've got several logos, but I've got hats and shirts and glasses and all this different stuff that's going to be made. There's going to be an e-commerce deal. There's going to be lots of giveaways, not only on my radio show, but on shows like Captain Jack, things like that, because Silver and Black State is going to be a big time brand. And so we are going to push it. And I'm even bringing hats to that charity softball game with the Silver and Black State logo. And I'm hoping Brock Bowers and the guys are able to wear them for the game. If they're not, because I know a lot of them are under contract for different things, but this is a charity event. I don't think they're obligated to wear anything else but their own maybe Raider hat or visor or whatever or even nothing if they don't want to. So I'm going to make sure everybody has one. I'm getting those done up right now. And, that's just something else I'm working on, Captain. And I want to work in cahoots with you because I know your pull. I know your reputation, and you're from the heart. And for those that don't know, and maybe this is their first time tuning in on the Captain, this guy is heart. Him, Violator, Gorilla. I mean, I'm talking guys from the heart, man. I mean, guys that wear their gear. The Raiders could be losing by 30, and over the last 2 decades, we've had those games. Or it could be terrible weather. We've had those games, and we're losing, and you're getting stuff thrown at you on the road. And you know what? These guys endure it. They pull it off. I don't know how they do it because the jersey would come out of me, and I'd probably end up in jail at least 4 or 5 road games a year from, not backing down, and ended up getting into little fisticuffs. But, that's why Captain Jack, I know he wants to throw down at times, but you know what? That's when he leans on his peg leg a little bit more, and they feel sorry for the old man going, God, is that really a wooden leg?
Yeah. Well, the knees, I don't know, Ken, did I tell you if the knees are AFU, I'm going to need surgery, but I'm putting it off until next year. But I will, by the way, I am wearing shorts because sometimes people say that I don't wear pants. You can see that the knees have the braces.
There you go.
that is a new thing. I have I have the mobility chair. I have the scooter that was at the draft, right? I got a mobility chair that's silver and black composite, so that's going to be the one that I use to go. I have a walker, which was puke Kansas City red. I said no. So I had the same guy that does my airbrush. I'm picking it up. I was supposed to pick it up Tuesday, but he has big 4th of July celebration at his house, so I was told to let him do. Don't even bring it up. So after the holiday, I'm gonna call up and say, hey, Rod, can I pick up my walker now? So I have the walker is going to be gray and black with stuff on it. So I'll have that with me with the mobility chair. And I can't wait to roll around into different things. And by the way, Ken, every Sunday game after the game over at Slice of Vegas, we're doing my Sunday show, which will be a great place to bring the stuff to. And then we can work on giveaways there. That'd be fantastic. Oh my goodness,
there you go.
That would be fantastic. So TBH is going to be doing some stuff, hopefully with Modelo throwing out some stuff, with you throwing out stuff. If you want to do after we do the event for Coach, maybe we'll do a. And I tell you what, I hate the people that they go on their phones and they look up trivia shit. I'm going to say, if you want to be in this trivia contest, come over here and give up your phone. And I'm going to have somebody make sure that nobody hits their phone. And I'm going to do trivia questions with them. And then somebody that knows the answer. And of course, I know most of the answers, but somebody that knows the answer, that would be great things for maybe even the coach thing. But we'll talk about, Ken. We will talk about that. I love it. I want to be involved. And obviously, I'm with you on Silver and Black State. I was kind of with you from almost day one, but I'm ready to go, Coach. Put me in. Coach Thomson.
Well,
I'm ready to go.
And the last thing, Captain Jack, is because we did a rebuttal after that trademark got denied. And we said, hey, look, we're copying the model of State 48 in Arizona. And we just want it to be a state brand. And we're not using any part of the Raiders logo. And for those that don't know, I know there's a lot of stuff out there. And look, I'm not the silver and black police that's coming after you. I could care less, right? Because you do it with passion. Those that have their own logo, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, the Raiders logo is protected in fractions. So you can't use the shield. You can't use the swords. You can't use the patch. Nothing, even by itself.
I know.
If Mark Davis and his entourage of legal team want to shut you down, cease and desist your ass, they can do it. But at the end of the day, he doesn't push it as long as it's not something that's taken away from his Raider image store, or you're not copying, you're not stealing something from him. And that's why, to me, Silver and Black State is something that's going to be there for the fans. And I didn't even know there may be down the line that we just sell stock, kind of like the Green Bay Packers are owned by the by fans, right? We're thinking Silver and Black State may be owned by the fans of the Silver and Black State or the Raiders, and do a ton of giveaways and a lot of charity stuff, of course, especially kids with cancer, things like that. And that's really how I connected with Violator and Gorilla, because those guys are charity guys like me, and we connected on stuff. And I just love it because people look at Raider fan, they go, if they're not a Raider fan, they go, God dang, all those guys, they're all gangbangers. And I go, no, only half of them are. The rest are not, so we have fun with it. But at the end of the day, you'll never find a more passionate fan base. But anyway, to make a long story short, we got the federal trademark of Silver and Black State approved. And so we have all of that. We have all of that.
And I tell people, it's like I get pissed off, and the people that are the worst, and it's one of the reasons why I hate. And I haven't been back to LA in a while, and I haven't been to Kansas City in a while. It's because of the security. The fans in Kansas City, for the most part, are wonderful. Okay, the security in Kansas City are, I got to say it, Ken, they're fucktwats. They are pure fucktwats. And the security outside, and I couldn't stand them, right? And when I go to the L.A. to watch, the last time I was in L.A., they treated me like I got a weekend pass from Chino or Lompoc, right? And that's my words. This is not every Raider fan has a weekend pass from Chino or Lompoc. There are people, and you know what I did for 38 years in the mill. I was a military intelligence analyst for the government and the Navy. It's like, you got to have an impeccable record for that. Not that I'm doing this shit, but I hate the fact that you see this. Oh, you're one of those fucking Raider fans. And again, sorry for the drop, but I'm sick of it. So I'm glad that there are people that know that we give a darn. See, I'm trying to catch myself. We give a darn, and we're into getting things done for the right people and whatnot. And that's why I am more than happy to do anything that and obviously we'll have to talk about it, but I will make myself available for anything that you want me to do in that regard, Ken. I'm right behind you, brother.
Yeah, that's great stuff. And I do want to, very rarely do I ever correct Captain Jack, but it is Lompoc, California, where the prison is over there. Lompoc, because I had a friend over there, and then that grew up there. And then for anybody who comes out there, and I grew up on the East Coast, I remember Nevada. No, it's Nevada. And the easiest way to remember is that a boy, Nevada boy, right? I mean, it's Nevada, and they'll know right away if you're a local or whatnot. And Vegas is a great place. Nevada is a great place. I really love it. And that's why I thought, if there's ever going to be a place where the Raiders move and it's not Oakland or it's not LA, where would it be? Las Vegas makes the most sense. And the reason being is because everybody goes to Vegas, right? I mean, whether you go out there to lose your ass in blackjack or you go out there to party or whatever you go to do. At the end of the day, if you can put a 4-day weekend around a Raider game and go once a year, and you're coming in from Bismarck, North Dakota, that's a freaking year life thing. I mean, it's big time. So get out there to Vegas, save up for that one weekend, and make that an annual trip or something. And it's great. And if you need help, Ken at sportsxradio.com. I'll help you. And you can follow me on X at SportsXRadio, at Ken Thomson 87. There's no P in Thompson, Thomson. But Captain Jack, I've known forever. I love this guy. This guy's full of integrity. I'm a Navy boy as well. That's how I got to the West Coast. And he was on an aircraft carrier back when the hostages were in Iran, and ironically, we just bombed the shit out of those guys. So, 46 years later, whatever it is. So, time flies, but at the end of the day, the silver and black, there's nobody else I'd rather root for in any sport. The passionate fan base that I met, throughout the years is really what put it over the top for me to just say, you know what, there's nobody like this. I don't care what sport it is. And I grew up in, like I said, in the New York, New Jersey area. I'm a Knicks diehard. They suck. I'm a Rangers diehard, 1994 Messier. I mean, other than that, I'm a Mets guy, 1986, greatest year of my life when the Mets won the World Series. But other than that, the Raiders winning Super Bowls, and it's been a long time. It's been a long freaking time for the silver and black. I think Pete Carroll gets us at least in the right direction in his 3 years, and maybe he stays 5. I think we get a new quarterback maybe in about 2-3 years, maybe next year. But I think Geno Smith can fit the bill. Got to stay healthy. A lot of question marks. And, Glaze and all these guys on the line that are youngsters that got question marks near them, they got to all step up. And, again, health is so important, durability. But I will tell you right now, 6.5 is the best win total you can get on the Raiders right now. 17-game season. That means if they go 7-10, you win the freaking money. And you can come and you can bitch me out if they don't go 7-10. But my money's already there because it's gone up to 7 in a couple properties already.
Yeah, that's where I wanted to ask. Can you find me the people that have it at 6.5?
6.5. I know the station's properties do. Yeah, I talked to Chuck Esposito. He oversees all the station's properties, which normally they're on the sides of favorites. They're all the local books. So Sunset Station, Green Valley Ranch, you name it, Boulder Station. There's all of them. There's probably about 15 of them. They're owned by the Fertitta brothers, Frank and Lorenzo, who owned the UFC and sold the UFC a few years back to China, some group from China, right? So Dana White was part of the package deal there, and I love Dana. He's one of the coolest guys. And I did my show for a lot of you folks that used to come to Vegas back in the day at Legacy Stadium, which was the greatest sporting venue ever. I mean, it was stadium seating. It was unbelievable. Dana White used to have all his UFC parties there, and I did my show there for 7 years. Warren Moon and Rob Riggle cut the ribbon with me when they built me a studio, spent $150,000 to build me a studio there. And in 2020, when COVID came down, they shut it down. They never reopened it. And it wasn't Emeril Lagasse. His food used to come out of that kitchen. Absolutely the greatest banana cream pie you could ever dream of. I mean, it's unbelievable, that place. But they never reopened it. And so really cut my income down about almost in half, man. It was brutal. But Sheldon Adelson, the owner of the Venetian, ended up dying. And, the kids and the wife never reopened it. They were too busy up Mark Cuban's ass to invest in the Dallas Mavericks, which may actually work out okay now that they got the kid from Duke and Anthony Davis stays healthy. So that could work out down the line. But you can see I follow all the sports. Nothing more that I love than college football and NFL football. But I know the NHL. I know the NBA. I know Major League Baseball. I know UFC, boxing, golf, tennis, Wimbledon going on right now. You listen to my show, SportsX Radio. Captain Jack will be on as we're going to get rolling. And I get a lot of Raiders. And if you like Hondo Carpenter, this guy's got his own daily podcast as well. But he has been the Raiders beat writer for Sports Illustrated. And this is his 6th year. But Hondo's on my show, 4:05 every Thursday. That's Pacific time, so 7:05 East Coast, 6:05 Central, and whatever it is, 5:05 Mountain. So tune into Hondo. But Captain Jack, I can't wait to see you, man. I can't wait to be on your show, and thank you so much for taking time. I got my little 2-year-old granddaughter who already knows the word blindside, and absolutely amazing. The smartest 2-year-old ever. She's 2 years and 3 months. This girl's unbelievable. She's like you, man, like just one of those vocabularies, like Jim Morrison of the Doors back in the day, man, with that photographic memory. Absolutely ridiculous. And if you get a chance and you want to see some great rock and roll all day Saturday from across the pond, it's going to be Ozzy's last show, July 5th. And all the guys from Black Sabbath, my brother-in-law, Zach Wild, ZAKK, that's all you got to do. Google ZAKK and know that's KT's brother-in-law. And if any of you want to, text me or email me, Captain Jack's got my cell, but you can email me. And if Black Label Society or Pantera reunions coming in your neighborhood, and I can get you meet and greet or free passes, I will do my best to do that. As long as Metallica is not the headliner. If Pantera is the headliner, I get more pull there because then my sister controls the gate. The warden, as Zach calls her, my sister Barbara Ann. So lots going on with KT, and always a pleasure to connect back with the captain. And I don't care if he limps or is in a wheelchair or on a walker. That man's got heart, he's got passion, he's got integrity, and he bleeds silver and black, and I love him.
Thank you, partner. Well, I wish I would have known about that because Metallica was just here in Tampa. That would have been good to know, a little while ago. I would have went to see Metallica in Tampa, but such is life. Maybe we'll figure out some other things. But dude, and I say, dude, I love you. I mean that as well. And thank you for being here. It's always a pleasure to have you on. You know that and I tell people this, you don't need an engraved invitation, but I do appreciate the fact that you're coming on. And for all those that don't know, I said, when I have a co-host guest, they're going to be on the show, and I'm not taking calls in until after they leave. But if there's anything, and if there's people that want to know, Ken, do me a favor and put in your email. If anybody wants to email you, because I don't want to put your number out, but anybody wants to email you, what is the best email for them to get a hold of you at that? And
Ken,
I'll put that.
Real easy. Just Ken at sportsxradio.com. Sports, the letter X, SportsXRadio.com. Ken at SportsXRadio.com. That's the website of the show. The archives, like I said, you can follow me on X at Ken Thomson 87 at SportsX Radio. And another thing I just want to get out there. I mean, this is not a something Captain Jack didn't even, we didn't even talk about what we're going to talk about. And he just kind of trusts in me that I'm not going to do anything to take his show down. But at the end of the day, I will tell you, when you come out to Vegas, I mean, I remember living in Jersey, and even when I lived in SoCal after I got out of Navy, you feel like you have diplomatic immunity to be an asshole. And I get it, because you're away from family and friends and you think that nobody sees. But at the end of the day, I've seen people drop dead there. There's people that have lost their life savings there. Things happen. And if you do too much, especially if you're out at the pool, and I know, the folks over at Circa and the Westgate Superbook and all those great people. But at the end of the day, if you're out at any of the pools out here, you don't have the humidity that you have back east. So if you're drinking a lot of alcohol, make sure you're doing one drink with at least one bottled water, right? And stay hydrated there. And then at the end of the day, just know that you don't want to drink and drive, because you will be put in jail in a second. They're used to it. They have people driving drunk 24 hours a day, so they know it. So just be careful. Enjoy Vegas. Let them drive. We know the back roads. We know everything. We're going to get you where you need to be. And at the end of the day, I grew up in an atheist household, but I am a big-time Christian. I don't shove the stuff down anybody's throat, but I will tell you, I have drank every drink. I have smoked every joint. I have snorted every line, and it's all empty bullshit. And it may suffice for a while and make you feel like you're all that and maybe even bulletproof, but it can get you in trouble. If you're going to do the hard alcohol, be careful. And Don, trust me, I'm not holier than thou. I got a DUI back in 2004, so I know it was 21 years ago. So I hand down the wisdom. I'm fortunate enough I didn't kill anybody. Henry Ruggs wasn't that fortunate. So be careful, and just know that Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior. I've done the research, and if you don't believe me, there's a gentleman named Lee Strobel who was working for the Chicago Tribune, and he had the dubious distinction to go to Israel to trace the lineage of Jesus Christ. And he was an atheist, and he goes, I can't wait to debunk all this bullshit. He's the biggest Christian writer in the world now, Lee Strobel, Strobel. So he traced it, all that stuff. It's all real, man. So we're only here for a short time, and you never know, right? You saw the soccer player from Portugal that played for champion Liverpool that won the English Premier League, got killed in a car accident with his brother last night, 3 a.m. in Spain. Tragic. Just got married. He had been with the lady for, I think, 13 years. They had 3 kids together. He's gone. You never know. The Gaudreau brothers in hockey got killed last year just riding their bikes. You have no idea how many Raiders have gone down, right? We remember so many of them, and never planned on a lot of it, right? You never knew. They weren't terminal, most of them, and they got killed in certain ways. And so just be careful, and just know at the end of the day, there's more than football. There's more than what's here on earth. And I'm just telling you that from the heart, from the soul. And, I'm just handing down that wisdom, because at 63, I've gained a lot of it. And my dad used to say the school of hard knocks. And trust me, I've learned most of it through that school of hard knocks, because I never went to church as a kid, never knew Jesus Christ, but I found him. Ironically, the night after a keg party when my buddy invited me, and I thought he was bullshitting, and I ended up going. And doesn't mean I changed, and I've been a choir boy since, because I sure haven't. Captain Jack knows that. But at the end of the day, I know right from wrong. I repent, and I know when I screw up. So, you know what? I love Raider Nation. I think they're some of the most integrous people that I've ever met, some of the most beautiful people, misjudged by those that don't know them and mistake their passion for maybe, cockiness. And it's not. It's just that they love this team. They love this patch. They love this organization. And, Mark Davis, he's not Al Davis. Don't compare him. He's never going to be Al Davis. He's Mark Davis. He's doing the best he can. Yeah, he moved from Oakland, and I know that pisses a lot of people off. I know he moved from L.A. back to Oakland. I knew he moved from Oakland to L.A. Pissed a shitload of people off. At the end of the day, I think he stays in Vegas. You can all get there. It's not what it was, but what is, right? So we take the glass half full, we move forward, and we get ourselves a Super Bowl in the next 3 years under Pete Carroll.
Yes, I agree. And I had the spinning circles of a death, so I was hoping that I didn't lose you. but sometimes, the weather out here, because it causes stuff with the internet. I'm glad you're there, and blessings to you, Ken. It's always been a pleasure. I remember what was it? It was at the Raider fan convention in Arizona, I believe, is when we first got a chance to meet.
Fat Tuesdays.
It was
Fat Tuesday.
Before, but yeah, it's been my pleasure ever since, because again, the Raiders, the Navy, East Coast, there's a mesh. I'm not a Mets fan because I'm a Phillies fan, but pretty much everything else is there along those lines as well. You can't take us out together in a good way. I can't wait to do something with you, and I'm waiting. Actually, is it Arizona next year that the Raiders go to Arizona?
No, they're here. Well, they're here for the final preseason game. They're going to be in Arizona for that final preseason game this year.
Yeah, but I was talking about regular season. I'm going to hang out at your house for the regular.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Ken already invited me. So don't say that I pushed my way into it. Ken already invited me before. Said the next time that they're out there, I get a chance to hang out with Ken Thomson. I'll just need to watch my mouth a bit. That's all.
My wife's used to it.
2 hours on a show.
Yeah, my wife's used to it, but she's a Packer fan, and we had some fun at the Packer Raider game a couple years ago. She's a Wisconsin gal, but she's coming around, man. I have a feeling that she's going to be all silver and black. She roots for both teams now, but she grew up with that Packer tradition in Lambeau Field, and that's still one of the bucket list things I would tell people. Don't even wait for a Raider game. Wait for the Raiders to go to Green Bay. Go to Green Bay, experience the Hall of Fame that they have there, and then just go there and enjoy Lambeau Field. And the colder it is, the better it is, baby. You're going to have a blast. And trust me, every other person's got a flask of brandy there or something. So
I will be there for the Monday night game, the Eagles, and I said that correctly, the Eagles at the Packers for the Monday night game the week that we were in Denver. And I said, I ain't going out to Denver. No, I said, I'm going to go to the Monday night game in Green Bay with the lady that took us in for the draft this year. So I said, I'm going to hang out with her. I got 2 tickets, one for me, one for her. And I was going to see if her boyfriend was going to be able to come, but he's not. So it's just going to be me and her in the wheelchair section. Great tickets that my buddy got for me. Can't wait. And I want to see Lambeau, the Hall of Fame, the Green Bay Hall of Fame, because I didn't get a chance to see it the 2 other times that I was there. So definitely, it's bucket list. You got to go. It's like I still got to go to Yankee Stadium. I haven't done that yet, or Fenway. And I wanted to go to Fenway this year, but the damn Red Sox are out of town when we go up there. So that pissed me off. I was going to go to Fenway too, but I'm going to try to hit the Phillies and Mets on the way back. But that's I'll go to road trip too.
I'll try and go to Fenway with you. Of course, growing up in Jersey, I hated the Yankees as a Mets fan because my dad was a Brooklyn Dodger guy. But I made it to Yankee Stadium probably about 25 times, so that's no big deal. I made it to Philly back when the old Veteran Stadium. Classic story there. I'll tell you that one day, but that'll take too long. But I was born in Reading, Pennsylvania. So my grandmother and grandfather, Mama and Papa, over there in Berks County, they were Philly fanatics. And so I like the Phillies. And my grandmother, rest her soul, died in a reclining chair in her 80s, watching the Mets and Phillies in her rocking chair. And my mom came home and and she was talking to my mom and my grandmother, and her eyes were closed, and she had passed away. And my mom said, oh my God. And the game was still on, was in the 7th inning, whatever. And what better way for my grandmother to pass away than during a Mets Phillies game. And I think both of them were boring back when she died anyway. So, but she loved baseball, and baseball is not what it was to the younger fans, because they don't have the patience for it. And that's why they still have that man on second base when you start extra innings, which is a crock of crap, but it is what it is. The reason I say that is because yesterday was the 62-year anniversary of the San Francisco Giants beating the Milwaukee Braves. Final score was 1-0 in 16 innings. The game-winning run was a home run by Willie Mays in the bottom of the 16th with 1 out. The 2 pitchers, Warren Spahn and Juan Marichal, both pitched the whole game. Marichal threw 227 pitches. Warren Spahn threw 201 pitches. You get a guy that gets to 90 pitches nowadays, oh, my arm. And then if they do, they're not going to be able to pitch for 10 days. I don't know what it is. Yeah, they got all the training. And don't tell me it's because they're throwing 100 miles an hour. Nolan Ryan threw over 100 miles an hour back in the day, pitched every fourth day, and had 7 no-hitters. So yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand how all this stuff. You got the greatest diets, you got the greatest workouts, you got all the information on computer, and yet you see more Tommy John surgeries than ever. So I don't understand. That's the one thing that baffles me. I don't understand how that happens. But at the end of the day, it's something we talk about on my show. And Captain Jack, I appreciate you giving me the floor. And I so appreciate you. And you'll be on my show soon. But we'll get together for a lot of good stuff. And I hope to be back on your show real soon.
Yeah, and Ken, it's my pleasure. I think maybe it's because the kids in Little League are throwing curveballs before their arms develop. And the better ones get into the major league. So they've already had there are kids that are getting into like high school that have already had Tommy John surgery, and because their arms are whacked. So I think that might be it. But yeah, when you have Ryan that threw like what was it? 109 was, I believe, was the one that went. It was either 109 or 110, which is what he was clocked at, which was the fastest one. And he would go 9 innings, 10 innings, throw 120, 130 each game, and that every game would do a complete game. Yeah, I don't want to hear, but it's the pussifying of sports. It's the pussifying of sports. But that's what we got today. I'm sorry, but anyway, I'm sorry, Ken. I kept you on longer than tell your family. Blame it on the old dude with the beard. Okay. Yeah. Because we had such a great time talking. Just talk, coffee talk, no big whoop. But it's there. And Ken, thanks again. I will get back with you. Please keep in touch with me. I will do everything I can. As you know, I will do everything I can for you, and I'm there with you. Silver and Black State for the giveaways would be great on the Sunday nights after the game. And we can we can take care of that. I mean, we can bring the stuff over to Slice of Vegas Pizza, folks. Slice of Vegas Pizza, and we'll have that. And then if you tell the owner or whatnot, say, hey, I'm with Captain Jack for his Sunday night. They know already that I'm going to be doing the shows from over there. It's TBH sponsored as well. You can come up in there and do that. It will be fantastic with the giveaways that hopefully we'll be having at that place after every game. It'll be awesome. It'll be awesome.
Look forward to it. And for you listeners, again, SportsX Radio, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. East Coast time, but locally 4 to 6 p.m. Vegas time. And all you have to do is go to sportsxradio.com and you can listen live. Otherwise, the shows are archived. The commercials are taken out, and you can listen usually about 3 hours after the broadcast. Those archives are up there with the list of guests, and I always get a ton of great guests. And connected to, not only coaches and players and fans and probably the best handicappers in every sport. So if you're into making money, trust me, from Brad Powers to Steve Fezzik to Bill Krakenberger, you name it, you'll know those names. Warren Sharp was on yesterday. Remember that deal, sharpfootballanalysis.com. Go there, get the magazine. It's a 586-page PDF. It's the most complete NFL book in the country. All the NFL teams get it. That's how good it is. He does work that they can't even compile. It's unbelievable. You get it for $1. Use the code SPORTS and then make sure you click on apply, and it takes it from $29.99 down to $1. And that's only for SportsX Radio listeners. So appreciate you, Captain Jack, and we'll talk soon, and we'll set some stuff up for when you're in town. God bless, my brother.
Thank you. Did I get that right? I think he had the E there. Sharpfootballanalysis.com. Right.
Sharp Football Analysis. There's no E, I don't think.
Okay. I'll take that down. I'll put the real one up. So sharpfootballanalysis.com. Use code SPORTS for the $1 buying that awesome book.
In fact, this is the paper version from last year, Captain. Look at this. I mean, I'm talking, this is like the book of freaking War and Peace. and the Raiders section, 15 pages on everything. So that's it right there. This was last year's 2024, just NFL. Absolutely unbelievable. And I'll also send you one of Mark Lawrence's magazines as well, because I got that. And Mark's been on my show for 10 years every Wednesday night, one of the best trendy handicappers, old guy from Ohio that's been in Florida for the last 30 years. But he puts out an incredible college and pro combination magazine. So I'll put that out there as well.
Yeah, and I'm an old guy. I like to read it in my hands.
Me too.
I like the stuff, where I can see it and read it and fold it. I like the old media guides. I love media guides. That I have a collection of the media guides up here because I love that shit. So if you can get me a hard copy, I would love that. But if you can't, that's cool too. I like them like that.
Yeah,
but I'm with you. Sharp Football Analysis.
Sharpfootballanalysis.com.
Sport.
Yep, that's it. You're good.
Yeah. For all of that stuff for $1. For $1, folks, it's awesome.
Just make sure after you put in the where it says coupon and you put sports, there's a little square there that says apply. Click apply, and that makes the discount live. Okay. Yeah. God bless. Yeah. Thanks, Captain.
I did it, and it's wonderful. I can't wait. Ken, thanks again. I'm sorry I kept you too long, but you're awesome.
That's all right, man. Never too long for the captain.
Nah. I can't wait. Best to your family, best to you. Love what's well. All the blessings to you, and I can't wait to come out and see you, brother.
You got it. You be blessed, Captain.
All right. Ken, thanks.
All right, buddy. Okay,
bless
pal.
to you.
Bye-bye.
All right. That was Ken Thomson, SportsX Radio. Oh, my God. This is what I love, okay? I got to get rid of the old one. Okay, let's see here. Sharp Football. That one's good. Okay. See if I can delete this one. No, I don't want to. Use the second one. The one that does without the E. Sharpfootballanalysis.com. I thought it had an E. I was mistaken. Ken was only supposed to be here for half an hour? Maybe 40 minutes? About an hour and a half. You know when we're talking. By the way, the Yankees lost. They just lost 8-5 to the Blue Jays. They are they're a game back in the AL East. Blue Jays are on top. Yankees are a game back. And who else is a game back? The Tampa Bay Rays. Just saying. Mets won today, so I think they're a game and a half back of the Phillies. That's because the Phillies didn't play today. Phillies play the Reds, 3-game series, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I don't remember who the Mets are playing. I don't care. Fuck them. I'm sorry. I don't. Ken might like the Mets. I have an old. I had an old Mr. Met poster or pennant when I was a kid. I had a lot of cool shit when I was a kid, and I even had it was the Disneyland print where it showed the park of Disneyland. I had that as a kid, and I'll say something, and I don't care. When I was a kid and I had that print of Disneyland above my bed, and it was kind of like I think it was like glow in the dark. And I was petrified. As a kid, I was petrified of two things. I was petrified of spiders because I was dehydrated when I had my tonsils out. And I still don't like spiders to say, but I was dehydrated when I had my tonsils out. So I had feverish and hallucinating. So I hallucinated about spiders, and I was petrified of spiders. And the only other thing I was petrified about, and for those that are watching, for all like 2 of you, actually 8, the poster with the Disney park. If you remember, Disneyland had like the old script D, like the old English Disneyland, and Walt Disney was underneath it, right? And Walt's picture was scary. So I was afraid of the D and Walt Disney. I was petrified of Walt Disney as a kid, based on that. And my parents laughed. They laughed and laughed. It was like, I'm scared of Walt Disney. But it was the D. So I don't think I've ever told that to anybody. So whoever, the 6 people that are watching, hey, Lady DJ, too. So for the 6 people that are watching over there on YouTube, and the people that are over there on Instagram, and whoever might watch this when it goes to reruns, now you know that Captain Jack was scared of the Disney D when he was a kid. Yeah, see, Raider Mode's laughing. It was when you're a little kid, and there's shit that there's shit that freaks you out. Spiders, I'm so afraid of. Still petrified of spiders. So anyway, we got about 20 minutes or so. I don't know who's still here. I'm going to pour myself another lemonade and iced tea mix, like a Arnold Palmer mix. See, I like the real lemon, or it's simply lemonade. And then I like, when it goes down, I get some of the Arnold Palmer mix, and I put it on top, so there's like a full thing of this together. So that's what I like. I like the Simply Lemonade plain, but I like it mixed. So here's to everybody. I'm going to take a sip real quick. Yanks versus Mets this weekend. Well, I'll tell you what. Pardon me. That'll be tough. That'll be tough games for both. I said Phillies played the Reds. Reds are barely over 500 as well. Let's redo. I'll rewind or refresh. See what it is. Of course, the damn thing fucking go. Okay, thank you. Yeah, Mets are a game and a half back because the Phillies didn't play. Last 10 for the Mets are 4-6. The Reds are, they're 6.5 back of the Cubs, 45 and 42. Phillies got the Reds this weekend. Mets got the Yankees. I like that. I don't know who I know that the Phillies took 2 of 3 from the Padres, so that was good for you Dodger fans out there. I know that Bishop is just, oh my God, the Dodgers are so great. All it takes is a series. All it takes is 4 games. I will say congratulations to Clayton Kershaw, who last night became, was it the 20th pitcher? The 20th pitcher in Major League history with 3,000 strikeouts. And I think only the third, he was only the third pitcher to do all 3,000 with the same team. Dodgers have the Astros this weekend. Astros were the hottest team. Let's see, where are they? Yeah, okay, they're in the American League. Yeah, that's right. We went over. So the Astros, they were kicking ass. So if the Dodgers have the Stros, there you go. 52-35. Where are they playing? Are they playing in LA or are they playing in Arizona? So that's gonna be a good series. Capitan Rafucho, Rafa, good to see you. Oh, it said Schmidt. I'm like, ooh, Mike Schmidt? Like, no, some other guy. Anyway, I don't know really how to. If you want to comment about something, please do. If not, I will say again, reiterate some of the things that Ken Thomson stated. Oh, I know why, because I never put the damn link up. Oh, the series is in LA. Okay. Before I even put the link up, if you want to come in, put it in the comment. I want to come in, because otherwise, I'm not even going to bother put the link up because I'm just going to roll through this. The things that I want to reiterate, obviously, was Ken got a chance to see Coach Flores. It's always good to see Coach Flores, and Ken and I will be getting together. Time to be determined for some wonderful giveaways with the Iceman. I remember when he was. I wanted though. I couldn't find him either. The Iceman Coors Special Edition for Tom Flores, signed with Tom Flores Hall of Fame. Can't remember what year it was. You'll come in, okay? Good, Mode. I froze. Okay, well, I'm sorry, James. For Mode, I tell you what, this is for Mode, most especially. I haven't heard from me in a bit, and I will let Raider Mode come in. If anybody else wants to come in, that's great. Hit the link. Please like, please share. Please like, please share. Jimmy Farrell, if you want to come in, you can come in. Ed Winchell, if he's still here. Good to see Ed. I know Ralpha was here. Let me see. I know Ralpha's here. Jimmy Farrell. God, we had a lot of people. Angela was in here for a little bit. There, Mode's in here. Good. So only because I was about ready to hit the show, but because I haven't heard from Raider Mode in a bit, I'm going to add him to the festivities. First off, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. What's going on with you?
How you doing, Captain? I'm doing pretty good. Been working a lot and just got into Mexico a little bit ago to visit some family.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you're okay. I envy you, or I'm jealous of you in the fact, because I love Mexican food. My buddy that I said who had his ex-wife, I'm gonna get into that, but his ex-wife's mom would come and would babysit the kids when I would visit them when he was still married to her. She would make everything, and she would feed me till I burst. And it was like she was like a Mexican Jewish mom, Oh, you're looking so thin. Eat. She would have
that's my grandmother. That's just like my grandmother too.
Yeah, greatest tacos, and I don't like street tacos. For the most, I like hard tacos, but the street tacos or whatever basic tacos that she made were fabulous, were wonderful. I mean, oh my God! And she would make them without onions, just for me, because I said I don't do it. So, yeah, sir.
And the next time the Raiders are in Arizona for regular season, we'll go and find some tacos.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know if you were, but like I said, the next time the Raiders play in Arizona, I'm staying over at Ken's house, because he told me before that I was like, wow, that's great. I don't have to worry about a place. I'm going to be hanging out at Ken Thompson's house. And then, but when we go out for the events, because I know that there's I like the super humongous Raider Nation events in Arizona. I also know that what is it? Kenny Stabler's family is out there. I'll probably go visit her.
On the interview.
Kendra. Yeah, so I'll visit. So I'll visit, but yeah, if you're going to bring we're going to go get some tacos, I'm there. I'm there, man. It's awesome.
All right. I know this preseason we do have the Cardinals, the last game of preseason here in Arizona. I will definitely be there.
Good.
All the booster clubs in Arizona, we're all getting together, and we're doing a tailgate festivities right next to the stadium.
That's great. Now I'm hoping, because the last time I'm sure if it was the last time, but I remember going to Arizona, I think it was 8 years ago, and there was a lot. I'm going to say it. There was a lot of button heads between all of the Raider clubs in Phoenix or in Arizona. This club didn't get along with that club, and that club didn't get along with the third club, and it was harsh.
No.
It was a clusterfuck.
No.
So
Yeah,
I'm hoping that got fixed.
The of issues going around with all the clubs in Arizona, but it was a mutual thing where a lot of the clubs did agree to this. I don't know what other events are going on that weekend. I have yet to see anyone else promoting other events for that weekend.
Hey, Mode, you and I probably blinked out. I didn't hear anything you just.
So what I was saying is a lot of clubs agreed to this mutually, and I haven't seen any other events being promoted. So as far as I know, this is the only event going on that weekend.
Hear my voice having unstable. Yeah, it said I'm having an unstable internet connection. So I apologize there. It wasn't me. It's like I said, my internet is acting up, so which sucks. But try it one more time to say what you were going to say. Hopefully, I'll hear it.
All the clubs respectfully, mutually agreed to do this event for the preseason game. I've yet to see anyone else promote any other event going on for that weekend. So as far as I know, if that's the only event going on before the game.
Good. No, that's fantastic, because I remember that there was one event, and it was at a nice Mexican restaurant. I guess it was like the 8 years ago. It was great. I love the food too. It was a great Mexican restaurant, great food. So I can't wait to go out there. Can't wait to go out there. Now I won't be out there for the preseason game, but I'll definitely be there. If I can get Ken to come with me to some of the things, I'll be there for all of the events that I can be for that event too for next year. So I'm looking forward to that.
One thing that I did want to say is,
go ahead, Mike.
I'm hoping I could find someone who's selling their training ticket, like their training camp ticket for this year. Because that is on my bucket list.
I don't. Yeah, I need to do that one of these years. I don't even. People keep you've asked me or not. So you've brought it up. I know Angelo asked me last year I don't even. I don't. I mean, I need to. I guess I need to pay more attention to the emails, but I don't know anything about it. And I'm not blowing you off. It's like I
No, yeah,
got other shit on in my mind, but I'll look for it. But
yeah.
if
I
I would do that,
know.
I know that. Go ahead.
I know that a lot of season ticket holders were already able to purchase their training camp tickets for this year.
Mm-hmm.
I have yet to see them go out for the public, but I'm pretty sure it's only for season ticket holders.
Okay, I'll go. I'll look into it as far as the event. Because I said it went right over my head. I will say this: that I'm going to sell my Niners at Raiders tickets because I'm not going to that. So
Mhm.
that's one game that I'm going to sell. And I mean, I'm not going to pay. I'm not going to jack it up to an exorbitant price, but I'm not giving them away either. So
No, yeah.
if you're looking for that, then if you want to get with me on that, I don't know what your availability is for that, but that's one
I'll actually be
that I
off that
would
weekend. So
let be available. Okay, yeah.
so
Well, yeah.
I'll
Then you make me an offer, and because you know where I'm at, right? You know where I sit,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So if you want to take those tickets off my hand, because again, I'm not going to be there. I'm actually going to be in um, Myrtle Beach for a Raider event in Myrtle Beach that weekend. Um, that's the 15th, I think. So yeah, I'm not
Mhm.
going to that. That's the Myrtle Beach event I'm going to. So yeah, if you want to make me an offer for it, brother, you got them before I even put them up for sale.
All right, man. And we'll talk after we get off.
Yeah, we'll talk offline. You got it. You got it. I only got a couple more mode, but what are your thoughts on? I mean, again, and people are saying, and I like it with Ken. That's why I said, oh, 6.5. I'll bet 6.5. I'll bet 6.5. That's why I want to find. I got to get a hold of Anna and say, Anna, I'll send you like a couple $100 to bet 6.5 for the win total. I'll do that. That's easy. I'll do that in a minute because seven is that sweet spot. I think they can win 7. I think they could win 7. But I'll have to find it. But what are your thoughts this year? I mean, again, not that we're all, you know, all jazzed up in X, Y, and Z, but I think the Raiders can win 7, 8 games for sure. I think so.
Just from looking at our schedule, I see that it is that possibility that we do hit that 6.5. I do see us winning at least 7 of those games.
Uh-huh.
It it's a matter of our defense coming together. Our offense is going to be blowing on all cylinders, but our defense is the one that has to keep us in majority of the time.
Yeah, I mean, we had that last year. It was the defense that was keeping us in games, and the offense just could not do shit. So you're thinking our offense is going to be
Yeah.
so much better?
Yeah.
You're off that the offense is going to be so much better that it's just going to be the defense is a place to keep us in.
I don't think so much better, but it's going to be a little bit better than last year. We're going to focus a little bit more on the run game, more so than the passing game. Mind you, I'm a USC guy. So I grew up with Pete Carroll
Yep.
being our head coach at USC. And from seeing his time in Seattle, he hasn't really changed very much. He's still a player's coach as well. He does favor the run game more so than the passing game. So I could see us being very run heavy this year, and our Our pass game will get a little bit better. Our run game will be a little bit better. Like I said, it's the matter of our defense keeping us in.
Well, I tell you, I want to see more wins this year. I mean, there is nothing more. Yeah, I don't even know the word for it. You go out to, you spend a bunch of money to go, and this is me. This is me. You go to the games, and just to be deflated comes to mind, but just so disappointed in the results. And
Like,
I hate that.
Another thing that
you're going to lose games.
Like another
Go
thing
ahead,
that's also deflating to a lot of us Raider fans that do travel is that we get fans from opposing teams outnumbering us.
In Las Vegas, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's one thing to go to an opposing team's it's sorry.
Go ahead.
It's one thing to go to an opposing team stadium and outnumbering their fans. It's a whole nother thing when you're at home and your fan base is being outnumbered to your opponents. And yes, I do understand. And I am understanding that a lot of fan bases do circle Vegas as their top game. Why? Because it's Las Vegas.
Yeah.
They're not really there for the game. They're there for the funness of Las Vegas.
And the game is an afterthought, but they do go.
Yeah.
So that's part of their weekend. Yeah. I got you. It's unfortunate, but I tell you, when the Raiders start having a quality product, there will be more fans in the stands that are wearing black than that won't give up their tickets. I mean that. When you have a quality product, there will be less amount of people putting their tickets up and don't give a shit who they sell them to. And because it'll be a quality product, there'll be more Raider fans in the stands. But I got to go. I appreciate you being here. And thanks for coming in. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties. You stay safe. If you're still
always
doing the same job, you stay safe. And get with me offline.
I always try
like
to
I said, give me an offer. Yep, give me an offer, and I'll send them to you because they're just going to be sitting and ready to. And I'd put them up on fucking, Treasure or whatever the Ticketmaster shit. I'd rather sell them to somebody I know. Sell them to somebody I know, and that's right. Hi, buddy. You have a great one,
Captain. I'll try. All right.
You got it. Yar, you bastard. Take care of Mexico. Bring me back some food.
I'll try. See what I can do.
All right, brother. Be well. That's Raider Mode, man. Great guy. And Oso's cousin, for those that know Oso Raider, Oso's cousin, great guy. And TBA Sacramento says, and thank you for that. And again, I try to do the Instagram. Thank you for being over there. It's always going to be like this, but the team needs to start winning for it to change. I agree. Until the team has a quality product, it's just going to be crap. So I'm going to try to pop out, and that's the end of the show. Thank you to Ken Thomson for being here. If you're coming in late, go back and watch Ken Thomson. We spoke for about an hour and a half, at least, maybe hour 40. And it was great. It's always great talking with Ken. So take care of yourselves. Be well. Have a great, what's today? Today's Thursday. See, I don't work, so I kind of lose track of time. Tomorrow is Al Davis's birthday. It's also George Steinbrenner's birthday. They were born on July 4th. I always remember that. So advance happy birthday to the Raider patriarch, Al Davis. Advance happy birthday in heaven to also George Steinbrenner, big person here in the Tampa area. for you Yankee fans out there. I love George Steinbrenner. He was a great guy. So lots of kudos to him. Take care, everybody. We'll be back on Sunday. And remember, Monday, I got Lincoln Kennedy, 9 o'clock Eastern time on this program. I'm going to do the promos like right away. So take care of yourselves. We'll see you. Be well. Yeah.